Alright, this is Charles with Aerial Skycam, back with you, storm chasing Hurricane Ida, back where we left off. Right now it's about 2:49 p.m. in Baton Rouge. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you like this kind of footage. This is live footage out here in Baton Rouge right now at 2:49, and we're shooting this video, gonna upload it shortly, so it'll be almost live, rather, I should say. And you can see right now the clouds are hitting pretty hard. We're heading northwest right here at the corner of Spruce Drive and Astor Street on the LSU campus. Just driving through. These are public roads, and you can see the clouds coming in. The storm is to the southeast of us, approaching Baton Rouge at a slow pace. And hard to believe, but just 50, 60 miles away, we've got hurricane force winds blowing southeast of the city. Right now we're getting a few rain bands coming in. This channel's educational. I'm an engineer and a pilot, and I just want to share with people the experiences of weather and nature, and just kind of show people what's going on out there. You can see off in the distance is Tiger Stadium. In a few hours, I'd imagine up there on those bleachers, the winds are going to be very strong, in excess of 100 miles an hour. You can see some of the trees starting to move. You can also see that while there are some students sheltering in place, as far as the streets are concerned, LSU is a ghost town right now. Most people out hunkering down. You can see a few pieces of trees and debris from plants on the ground around here. The rain sprinkling my windshield right now. The wind's starting to pick up. You can see some things flying in the breeze. Things are about to get serious out here. We've got really strong wind, but still nothing like the hurricane force winds that are blowing just a little south of here. Southeast, I should say. All right, let's turn right here. I'm driving through the backside of the north end of LSU's campus. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to create content to help people, educational content, engineering content, content about nature, content about natural wonders like this storm. You know, the water temperatures are very warm. That water temperature goes up into the atmosphere, and that energy is what we're seeing expressed here in these winds, in the drop in pressure. The storm was at 933 millibars just a few hours ago. It's a pretty strong Category 4 hurricane. And this is one of many Category 4 hurricanes that we've recently had hitting the continental United States. Something to keep in mind as ocean temperatures rise, as currents change, you're going to see these type of storms because there's more energy in the ocean, more energy in the Gulf of Mexico, more energy in the waters around the coastal areas, and that energy is expressed as a storm. Whether you want to call it warming trends or whatever you want to refer to it as, the bottom line is the more energy that goes into the water, the more energy that comes out in the form of these type of storms. Right now we're heading southeast across the campus, heading from north to south. You can see LSU is a ghost town right now as far as the streets are concerned. There are students sheltering in place. LSU is a very well-built campus. It's got some really strong buildings, a lot of protection, a lot of shelter for any students that needed to stay here. In addition to that, LSU's got its own power plant. So with its natural gas power generation capability, which is in the buildings right behind those trees, it's got the ability to sustain and support people on campus, and makes a great location for sheltering and for things like this. And again, with the strong buildings, not too much to worry. There's a bit of a view of the power plant there on the right. There's a iconic aircraft that's, believe it or not, gonna feel the same type of winds that it would take for that aircraft to take off. Just a little bit later on today, that plane is gonna once again feel winds at well over 100 knots. That's amazing. So it's gonna have winds on its wings reaching flight speed once again. It's cutting through campus. Let's go out through by the LSU lake. Let's see what's going on over there. And then when you're next to lakes and bodies of water, what you got to keep in mind is the winds can be a lot stronger in those areas because there's no trees, there's no obstructions, no buildings to block it. And so if you are near a lake or a body of water and this storm is coming, be sure and take shelter, because the winds in those kind of areas and near open fields can be very strong. Also, one thing to keep in mind too is the wind in between buildings. Buildings can have a lensing effect on winds. And so while the building could block some wind, the wind in between buildings could actually be higher than the hurricane force wind that's blowing into the face of the building. And so if you've got 150 mile an hour hurricane force wind or gust coming through, it could very well be boosted to, let's say, over 200 miles an hour by the lensing effect of multiple buildings in one area. And when you're standing in between those buildings, you could well be in the firing line of a wind that could lift you off the ground and push you into the building. So again, be very careful about these winds. Be careful about being out here. Be careful about being in open areas with these type of storms approaching. The Cat 4 hurricane at landfall, very near Cat 5. Severe Studios, another YouTuber, did record a sustained wind of 156 miles an hour. 157 would have been a Cat 5. And that was when it made landfall close to Grand Isle in Louisiana this morning. August 29th, the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Hard to believe, 16 years since that storm hit. And right now, on its anniversary, we've got another major hurricane headed for the New Orleans area, as well as Baton Rouge. Here we got a gentleman out feeding the ducks. You can see that the winds haven't quite picked up yet as high as they're gonna get in a few hours, and so he's enjoying some last minutes. There's a few cars out here. There was another interesting phenomenon. A lot of people in Baton Rouge engaged in something they referred to as the Last Supper. And the Last Supper was them going out to restaurants and getting a bite to eat. You know, knowing that the storm was approaching and knowing that more likely than not, a lot of our restaurants are going to be closed for quite a few days in this city with this storm coming through. And so they refer to it on social media as the Last Supper. I myself did go out to a restaurant and enjoyed some pizza last night, knowing that that might be one of the last chances to do that for quite some time. There's the LSU lake. It's hard to see right now, but there's actually white caps out there. Just like I told you, this is an educational channel, and so I want to explain to you that these open bodies of water can have really, really strong winds because there's no trees, there's nothing to block it. And so that can be a dangerous situation if you're out in the open here. I can see a few birds flying. I see one bird, a big white crane, circling, coming in for a landing. A lot of the birds are also roosting in trees. Just across there's a bayou. You can't really see it because of the road, but that's a well-established bayou. Actually flows out. Water eventually gets out into the Mississippi River and other bodies of water around here. These are some condominiums near LSU, and that's the LSU lake. We're gonna pull in right here at the lake, step outside, hear some of that wind, and take a closer view. I see we got some people walking around out here by the lake. enjoying one of the last times they're probably gonna get to go out for several hours. There you go, let's zoom in on them over there. There you go, you can see them walking around the lake area, enjoying some of the final moments before this hurricane comes on in. All right, we're gonna walk up, step out to the lake, and see what's going on this fine Sunday afternoon. All right, so the wind's blowing pretty hard here. But still nothing compared to what it's going to be in a very short amount of time. So now we're going to walk out to the lake itself, see if we can keep our hat from getting blown off out here. We got some standing water over here. Nothing like what's coming though. We've had some few outer red rain bands, you know, coming through. And we can see the geese over here waiting for the storm. They're probably gonna shelter underneath some of these trees. Got a little doggy running around there. There he is. Friendly and enjoying some of the last time he's gonna have out here before the storm hits. Look at those geese, they seem to kind of know what's coming. So animals don't have too big a problem finding shelter in places like this because you got some trees around that seem pretty strong. They've definitely stood up to some hurricanes, and I think these geese are going to be okay, and they'll probably be back out here tomorrow. Now out here at the lake, you see it really hasn't set in yet. There's not a whole lot of wind, hard to believe, but just 60 miles away, hurricane fish, of course, winds blowing, and in a few hours this lake is basically going to be whitewater. That's it out here at the LSU lake. Now we're going to keep driving a bit and go out down Nicholson and head back to South Baton Rouge and kind of get a view of what's going on out there. See, the clouds are pretty ominous, but not nearly as ominous as they're going to be in a few short hours. So those people managed to get their dog back in the car. I'm sure they were concerned. They could have been pretty close to being caught out in the rain hunting after a dog that was very excited. I think the animals can sense the change in pressure, and I believe that it definitely sets them off when these type of storms are coming through. That's the Volvo Xc90 all-wheel drive. Perfect vehicle for driving through these kind of storms. Volvos have an excellent safety record. They're very heavy. That car is an all-wheel drive with lots of ground clearance and off-road capability. And so it might be a little dirty and dusty, but that is the vehicle you want when you're cruising through a storm like this. A Volvo Xc90. Excellent safety record, still safety cage, airbags all over. Very safe vehicle. Those geese are milling around over there, enjoying some of their last minutes as well. Just like some of the joggers who are out there walking and running today. All right, let's get back into Volvo and let's go down and let's see some more of this storm. Buckle up here. Look at that before the storm, and it's a little bright beyond those clouds. Almost looks like the sun wants to come out a little bit. Hard to believe just 50-something miles away, hurricane force winds are blowing. And you know, that's the thing that's so insidious about these storms, because a long time ago, before we had radar and advanced weather forecasting techniques, people had no idea what was brewing. How would they know that this wasn't just a summer storm? How would they know that in a few hours the wind between buildings could reach 200 mile an hour in gust, and that 140 mile an hour sustained winds, even 150 mile an hour winds could be felt, and that they could be blown with their house off of the foundation of a home that they built? But now with modern technology, we know the storm is coming. We know that this debris on the street that we're seeing right here is just the first of many, many, many pieces of vegetation that's going to be blown around, and definitely a foreshadowing of things to come in the next few hours here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, near the LSU campus. All right, so we're going to make a right turn here on West Lakeshore Drive, go back up the way we came, then we're going to cut over and cross Highland Road at Parker near Tigerland, and head down Burbank a little bit and see what we can see. Burbank runs parallel to Highway 42, which is the road we came in on in the earlier video. That's a great video too, check that out. That's showing around 1 o'clock what it looked like out here, and right now it is 3:06. The storm is getting closer. You can really tell that the winds have picked up. I know it's hard to see on the video, but the trees are really moving. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit. Let's see. We got no one behind us. So now we're zoomed in on those trees. You can also see that grass. You see how that grass is undulating? That's a wave effect from the winds. This wind's really strong out here. Earlier, around the 1 o'clock video, I say we had sustained winds at 20 miles an hour. Now I'd say these sustained winds are pushing at about 35 miles an hour through here. And they're only going to get stronger as the day goes on. It's a very powerful major hurricane, still a major hurricane, even though it's already made landfall. We're going to turn left here on East Parker. Light's green, going on through. Coming up on some cypress trees there, moving in the breeze. Those are some impressive trees. They've withstood a lot of storms. Those trees withstood Katrina, and so they're probably very likely to withstand this one. But Baton Rouge has a lot of trees, and we're going to see some trees going down in this storm, there's no doubt. Okay, the road we're coming up on right now is called Highland Road. That road has a lot of overhanging trees. We're not going to go down that one, but I'm just going to shoot down the road as we approach this light here. You can kind of see it's lined with oak trees. And the unfortunate thing about Highland Road is those trees tend to come down, break power lines, and that road will likely be blocked by the end of the day today. And so it's a very dangerous area. A lot of people live there, and a lot of people could well be trapped in their homes by trees that are going to fall down across their driveways, across the road, across their cars, across their roofs, by that oak tree lined road called Highland Road in Baton Rouge. Right now we're coming up on Parker and Janet, and up there at the light near those nice luxury apartments for LSU students and other people that live in the area. This is Burbank, Parker and Burbank. So we're going to make a left turn here on Burbank and go down Burbank. Now Burbank is a good thoroughfare in Baton Rouge. It's wide, it's 4 lanes for the most part, especially in this area, and it does have trees lining it, but the road is so wide and the trees have a great distance, so this road should remain passable even after the storm. So it's a good way to get around the city. Coming up on Burbank and Jennifer Jean right now. You can see some debris out in the street. Bags blowing around, leaves flying across the road. You can definitely tell the sustained winds are in excess of 30 miles an hour right now. This is a major storm coming. Right now we're heading east on Burbank. And of course the storm is coming in from the southeast. So you should be able to notice that the clouds are a bit darker as you head east and southeast than the clouds were earlier when we were just headed north by Lakeshore, by the LSU Lake a few minutes ago in this video. These clouds are a lot more solid, a lot darker, but not nearly as dark, not nearly as solid. That's what's going to be here in just a few more short hours, short minutes before this major hurricane comes across and gives Baton Rouge, Louisiana a taste of the west eye wall while giving the powerful east eye wall to New Orleans. Again, right now, I would not recommend to be in the New Orleans area. If you are, I recommend that you shelter in place. It's a little too late to evacuate right now, so a lot too late. Some of the same areas that got hit hard in Katrina are going to hit hard here. New Orleans also sent out a warning that some of their pump systems aren't working. I believe they said there were 3 pumps down. You know, with a storm like this, there's just no telling what can happen. I urge everybody to shelter in place, take caution. Again, if you're by clear open areas, get away from there. The winds are going to be very strong. Don't stand between buildings because the buildings can have a lensing effect. So you could get a 150-mile-an-hour gust that could be lensed by buildings and squeezed into a 200-mile-per-hour wind that could literally blow you off your feet and into a building, and could also carry debris and hit you with that debris as well. So just keep that in mind and stay safe out there. Now, you can see here that up ahead, we've got some pretty strong rain. So that rain's going to obstruct our view. We're just cruising in right now. Keep going. No windshield wipers. The winds are only blowing about 30. So this is what it looks like right now. This is it. Right now in Baton Rouge on the anniversary of Katrina, August 29th. 16 years since Katrina, and now Louisiana's hit again by another major hurricane. Again, just like Katrina, giving Baton Rouge a taste of the western eye wall, while New Orleans gets a feel for the power of this storm as well. This is Charles with Aerial Skycam, August 29th, 2021. Lots of rain, lots of wind, lots more to come from Hurricane Ida. Signing off. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the like button below. Like and subscribe. Charles at Aerial Skycam, bringing you interesting educational content. There's some people doing some last minute storm prep, trying to get some ice. Aerial Skycam signing off. Talk to you soon. Be sure to like and subscribe so we can present more content like this for you.